Canadian F1 fans are in for a treat as North America's first official Formula One exhibition is up and running until midsummer at the Lighthouse Artspace Toronto, located at 1 Yonge Street. Hey everyone, Rob Wong with you. Pleased to be joined by a producer of the Formula One exhibition, co-president of Round Room Live, and Toronto native Jonathan Linden. Jonathan, great to chat with you today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Now, previously in your career, you've been a part of some big entertainment projects. You were part of the producing and promoting teams for the 2007 and 2013 Barbra Streisand tours, An Evening with Oprah Winfrey, while also serving as the lead producer of Rock of Ages on Broadway. But now you're in a different kind of entertainment with auto racing with the F1 exhibition. How did you find yourself a part of this amazing project?
We've been part of a number of different exhibitions over time, going back to the Rolling Stones exhibition and Jurassic World, the exhibition. And F1 was a brand that we were chasing for a while. It's got global appeal. There's only 23 Grand Prix races. They're in very specific geographies. There's become a very global fan base that don't have an opportunity to engage and learn more and enjoy F1 unless they're in one of those locations, and unless the tickets to some of these Grand Prix have become much more expensive. And so we had the original idea of how do we bring F1 to more fans on a consistent basis. And so we created the exhibition and started it last year. It opened in Madrid, Spain in March of 23, and then it went to Vienna, where it is right now. And the North American version opened, as you said, a month ago in Toronto. And we're in Toronto because Canada and Toronto are fantastic entertainment markets.
Yeah, that's definitely well said. And of course, we have the Canadian Grand Prix in Montreal. So a lot of fans in this country. Now, it's 6 immersive rooms stretched out over 20,000 square feet. And every room features a unique look at a different aspect of Formula One. This is something that's been around since the 1950s and has such a rich history. I know this exhibit has been 5 years in the making. Was it a challenge to decide what stories you wanted to highlight and showcase?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, we describe it as the past, present, and future. And so, as you say, there's a lot of newer F1 fans. Some of those came in through Drive to Survive, which was a very successful Netflix program, which was able to create a vehicle for people to understand the drivers a little more. They see them without their helmets in their personal lives and at home and what they're doing, and that opened up a wider group of fans. And so I like to describe it as there's sort of two big groups of fans. One is the fans that have been around for a long time and really understand F1 and are motorsports people. And then the more casual fans who have come in over the last little while. They've got a favorite driver. They like a lot of the storylines and Drive to Survive. And so how do we cater to both? And so we've tried to do that through the 6 different rooms where there's some history and the background and explaining the sport, but a lot of immersive and interactive and technologically forward elements that I think consumers today are looking for. So hopefully we're getting both of those groups in an effective way in the exhibition.
Now, I think something that people will see at the exhibit and be pleasantly surprised with is how you actually experience the rooms themselves. I was able to check it out recently, and that's with headphones and a remote control that allows you to hear the videos that are playing throughout the exhibit. You basically point this remote at a receiver for each video, and you can control what you want to hear, when you want to hear it. How did you guys decide that that was the way you wanted visitors to navigate the experience?
We knew we wanted some of the really immersive elements. So the the simulators, the pit wall experience, the immersive theater. But for some of the historical elements, there was an awareness of not everybody understood the background and the history and some of these elements. And so it's a bit too static in our view to just have to read it off the page. I mean, it's an immersive exhibition. It's not really a museum. And so how do you use the elements of the headset allows you to enjoy it in your own way. And so there's some people, if I'm sure you saw this when you were there, some people where something really grabs them and they want to watch it every once in a while. You got people watching something 2 or 3 times to really get everything. And then there's other people where it's their own experience. They're looking for the cars, they're looking for the helmets, they're looking for other elements of this and maybe don't want to take in all the history. And so we thought it was a great way to have people enjoy it in however they choose.
Now, the authentic artifacts that you were able to get your hands on to display are pretty incredible. You've got things from 1883 all the way to 2023. I think the one piece that struck me the most was the car wreckage of driver Roman Grosjean, who thankfully survived that crash. But it's one of the most terrifying and infamous crashes in recent history. Really gives you a sense of the risks that these drivers deal with and the dangerous nature of the sport. Is there a specific artifact that you were really excited to acquire for this that F1 fans would be able to see up close?
Well, I think it's the Grosjean car and those elements is a great part of the story. I mean, part of the story from F1's perspective, obviously F1 is our partner. They want to tell the story of innovation, which is a very central theme to them. So the concept that you go from some of the cars you see at the front that are some of the older cars that are very small, and if anything were to happen, it would be a challenge if you were inside it, to the innovation and evolution of safety and all of the other components that allowed Roman Grosjean to step out of the car. And I think by extension, there's also a Haas car in the exhibition where it's a modern Haas car, so it's great to see everybody sort of take in all the elements, just how big it is and intricate and detailed. And also with the specific one that we have in the exhibition, we were able to take the back panel off, and so you can see the Ferrari engine. And so it's for real diehard fans, that's something people would have never seen before. And for more casual fans, just the intricacies and the detail of how that looks, has been amazing, people. And so I'm proud of both of those elements, and we're proud of it all, but those elements both jump out.
So, as you mentioned before, Drive to Survive series on Netflix has caused a massive uptick in the popularity of this sport. And for the hardcore fans, this is definitely an exhibit that will be right up their alley. But you touched on it a little bit there with the maybe more casual fans or even people that don't know much about F1 and auto racing at all. What would you say to try to get those people to come out and see this exhibit?
Well, I think I would say that it's a very modern exhibit that has a lot of immersive and experiential elements. And so if you're looking for something that you're right into, the pit wall, fully immersive theater experience. We have driving simulators. I don't think there's anything more immersive for an F1 fan than getting behind the wheel. The seat in the simulators is almost exactly like an F1 driver, so it's almost like you're lying down, and people are amazed that that's how they sit when they're driving it. And I think there's also a lot of fans where, as Drive to Survive became popular and some of these races have become a real destination, and it's kind of the place to be, and there's celebrity and buzz, but some of the fans that want to learn a little bit more and sort of bridge the knowledge gap. And so, the next time we go to a race, how do we understand it a little bit more, and how the points work and how qualifying works and some of those elements. And so, we really tried to cater to both sides, the more casual and the hardcore fan, and we've been receiving all types of fans at the exhibition, and we're hoping that continues right through the summer.
Yeah, I got a chance to check out the simulator. I've played the video game at home before on my console, but it's a little bit different stepping into the car, as you said, and lying down. It's crazy to think that that's how these guys drive these cars at such high speeds, but it really is remarkable. As I mentioned before, this exhibit took 5 years to complete. It's been 5 years in the making. What do you think the future holds for something like this?
Well, we're very optimistic in relation to the future. I mean, it was a challenge where, like a lot of things during the pandemic, when you weren't able to get, we'd already secured the license, but weren't able to get open. Once we were able to open last year in Spain, we've had the teams come through. We've had different promoters, different people from around the world, and so we're talking to a variety of different territories of sort of taking this as many places as possible. And so we think that there's F1 is incredibly popular, but as we said, there's a bit of a scarcity of product because there's only a set number of races and they're in very specific spots. And so we're optimistic we can get the exhibition to a variety of places that have already seen a Grand Prix and some that haven't seen a Grand Prix. And so we're optimistic we can use the exhibition as a way to take F1 to a variety of different countries and territories in a really successful and fun way.
Well, it really is remarkable, Jonathan, what you guys have been able to do with this. I really enjoyed it, and definitely people should check it out. Once again, the F1 exhibition taking place right now at the Lighthouse Artspace Toronto, located at 1 Yonge Street. You can purchase your tickets by going to f1exhibition.com/Toronto. It's on now. Jonathan, thanks for your time.
Thank you very much for having me, and hope to see everybody down at the exhibition.